Good morning. I am Beth Hildenbrand, and this is Booked Up with Beth. And this morning we have with us Dana Calhoun. I knew that. I'm just having a morning here. Hi, Dana. I am so happy to have you today. I'm really excited about this
Yeah.
show because Dana writes children's books. And we all know that I have 5 boys that I raised, and I wish I would have had his books back then. So I am going to give Dana a few minutes to tell us a little bit about himself before we get into the books. So Dana, uh, take it away.
Well, first of all, out of due respect, Beth, thank you. I really appreciate you for having me on the show. I mean, you're just a wonderful person, and I know we're gonna grow
Oh,
together and get to know each other more, and
oh,
just
thank you.
just grow with the literacy world. So I really appreciate you.
Thank
So
you.
my name is Dana Calhoun. Um, I'm originally from Louisville, Kentucky. I'm from Louisville, Kentucky. Um, I actually had a special person in my life, my mother, that was an educator for, gosh, I mean, like over 30 years. So I'm just so excited to talk about, her life. So she taught special education, but she also taught third and fourth grade regular education, or you know. So I'm just so thrilled to be here. But um, I went to the University of Louisville. That's where I got my bachelor's from, a bachelor's in science and sports administration, and then I went on to get um, a master's arts in teaching at Spalding University in education. So, I played football in college. In high school, I ran track, played basketball, played football. But I just grew. And, you know, the young people out here, I want to tell them, don't make sports your everything. You got to have a backup plan. And so, Mama used to always tell me, well, Dana, what if you get hurt? What if you get hurt? What are you gonna do? What's your backup plan? And this is my mom telling me this. So at first, I didn't really want to listen to her, but as I started playing the sports and feeling my body and the aches and pains and the grunt of it, because you're competing, I said I probably better have a backup plan. So I just knew I had a knack for writing books. I love drawing, coloring, writing, doing all those things. And I would bring home um, my work from school, and my mom would always just say, her name is Martha Brown, by the way. Man, you just have the most unique handwriting. Like she would see my words and how I write sentences, and I was just doing my homework. And so um, she picked up on that, and then I would draw pictures and stuff, and that was a way for me to express myself as a man, well, as a child then, and I still do those things. I still draw and write, but I was like, Mom, what are you talking about? Like, Mom, what are you talking? And she was like, just whatever you're doing, just keep doing it because I love it. And so she was, you know, go inside my backpack every day and see what type of homework and everything. She wanted to help because Mom was an educator also. So it started in the home with me. And um, I just remember her having a pile of books, and it was all kind of books and papers scattered everywhere, like all over the place in a corner. She kept it was her teacher's corner. I was like, why mama's not like cleaning this stuff up? Like it's just piles of books in it. Like I never understood that. But at the time I was so young, I made a connection kind of, but now me being an educator and a teacher, I have a pile of word, papers, books. I have my corner too. And so mama, thank you. I definitely understand. Like it's just wild to me. So but she had good intentions, and she raised me right. I love it. I love it.
Gotta have those mamas. I'll tell you what.
I love it.
Mamas rule.
Yes, mama's rule. So everything that I'm doing now is a result of Martha Brown, my mother. I love her. So kudos to her. Yeah,
Uh, I believe this was your mama. We have a responsibility to ensure that every individual has the opportunity to receive a high quality education.
absolutely.
I got that from the bio that you sent me, and
Yeah.
I had to write that down in my notes because I believe that. I do
Mhm.
believe that.
Absolutely.
And I'll tell you what, uh, I was lucky that I have a son who is autistic,
Hmm.
and I am very lucky that the school district that he is in is fantastic. They really have been a rock for me throughout his entire education. And I have become, like on a first name basis with every one of them
That's right. That's
since he
right.
was small.
Yes. Yes.
And the principal, I think he hides when he sees me coming, but
Yeah. Yeah.
that could be
Yeah.
from the four brothers before him. I put five children through this school system, and
Yes. Yes.
not all of
Yes.
them were as well
Yes.
behaved as they should have been at
Yeah.
times. But yeah,
Oh, that is
raising
amazing.
five boys, oh boy,
Yes.
that was fun.
Yes.
And
So, yeah, go ahead, Beth.
like I said earlier, I wish I'd have had your books when they were all littles. Uh, because they would have enjoyed them tremendously. But I do have my grandbabies I can read them to. So,
Ooh, that's nice. That's
yes, it
nice.
is. But yeah, it was a blessing from God that my school system is so good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially, when COVID hit and you couldn't get MTs, the mobile therapist, and the TAs
Yeah.
and things like that, and you were kind of on your own. Uh,
That's true.
and even when you can, it's hard. They just seem the turnover is so high.
Hmm.
So a good school system is an important thing,
Yeah.
and I was very lucky to have that with my son.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. We
yeah,
lost a lot of people from COVID. And I think people, uh, now that we've got back into kind of a norm, and we're still not all the way there, that's so important to talk about. But we have families out here that are hurting still from COVID because it was just a shock. It came out of, excuse me, I'm burping from the coffee. Uh, and I'm going to take my Starbucks and have my coffee. Starbucks. Well, I'm trying to get the Starbucks sign on there. There we
oh, I
go.
see it.
Starbucks. Starbucks. So,
Well, while you have a sip, I'm going to say good morning to everybody who's here.
absolutely.
Nina and John, and your friend Ethan is here showing support.
That's awesome. I love that. Ethan,
So,
thank you for being here.
good morning, everybody, and thank you for coming to the show. Um, uh, oh, Nina says she's so glad that you have a mama who encourages you.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Yes. I appreciate that. That's great.
And John said, "We all need our coffee." Yes, we do.
We
I'm
need it.
I'm having my Diet Coke. I coffeeed up this morning, and we don't want me. Yeah, I tend to get chatty, and then the squirrel takes me off in the wrong direction, and I lose track of
No,
what I'm doing. So we're
I
Diet
love it.
Coking now.
This is a coffee party. I love it. It just gives you caffeine and makes you. I'm ready to talk about any questions you all have for me. Even if
Well,
I love
oh,
it.
well, your books. Let's see. If only, yeah, if only I was a grown up.
Yeah.
I think we all learned that lesson somewhere in life. I want to be all grown up. I love that. Oh, Nina's having her fifth cup of coffee. My goodness, she doesn't sleep. That woman does not sleep.
She doesn't sleep. She's awake all the time. Yeah.
Um, and oh, so it's Mendel, the
Yeah.
genie, who
Yeah.
takes and
Yeah.
shabams him. And I love when his well, first he blows up the microwave because he puts the tin foil in it, which I have done as a grown up. Okay, I remember I got the Arby's and
Yeah.
not thinking that okay, this is wrapped in tin foil, just shoved it in the microwave. Well, the other sandwiches come in paper. Okay,
Yeah.
so yeah, I tin foiled the microwave once. I'll admit it.
Yeah.
Um, and then the bubbles in the dishwasher, and he
Yeah.
learns his lesson that we do not want to grow up too
Yeah.
fast.
You don't want to grow up too fast because yeah.
So
Um.
I enjoyed that one.
Yeah.
Uh,
Thank you.
and Hooper Knots though. Okay, it
Oh.
was basketball.
Ooh. That's a good one.
So yeah, I that was the one I read first, and I was like, whoop, basketball, and we're
Oh.
both Pacer fans. So yes,
Yeah.
I am a Pacers fan. Of course, I was old era Pacers. Yes,
Patience.
you got the hat. Back when Reggie Miller was playing, and back in the day.
And then
Ooh.
also let the military like I just want to pay respect to the so so I just recently went to a Pacers game and we got free hot dogs, drinks, everything. Like it was great. And so I wear this hat. I love it. My dad was actually in the Navy. Uh he was in aviation. He worked on the airplanes.
Ooh.
He actually now he didn't go out fighting in war and things like that, so I don't want people to get that misconstrued. But he always acted like he was bigger than what he was. He wanted to say, I was out there in the trenches, I was doing it. No, you weren't, Dad. Like, but we still respect your service. So basically, he was a maintenance person. He knew how to work on airplanes. And I still to this day, I don't even know if my family really know the things that Daddy was really doing. He was really working on those airplanes, or maybe just taking pilots off when they had got, I don't know, injured or whatever in the air. But he was the one taking the people off, and he really did service. I just think Daddy was kind of shy and scared to talk about those things, but I know he experienced it because we had a talk in the garage. We would always sit in the garage and just talk. I was like, Daddy, you gotta spill some stuff out to me. You gotta talk about this. And he refused. And like finally one day he broke down and he was like, I was pulling the pallets out of the plane. I was working on like the propeller. Like, and that was just special to me. So, you know, rest in peace, but he was great. And I can't think of a better role model. Daddy was great. Of course, everybody has their flaws and has their this and that, but you got to look at the positivity in a person's life. And Daddy did great things. So yeah, he
Well,
was cool. He was a cool dude. We miss him, but it is what it is. So
I'm sorry to hear you lost your dad. I lost mine too. He was in the service as well, and it's hard. I lost my rock, so I know how you feel.
that was your rock.
Mm-hmm.
Your dad,
Mm-hmm.
he was in the military. Wow. And I just think people need to be more like they go over there and fight for our country, and then they come back, and then I feel basically they're treated like crap. You can't do our military people like that. They're going over to another country and they're fighting for our country, and they're doing all kind of. I mean, who know? I mean, we don't know what they're doing. While they're working, we're asleep at night. We're doing our own thing. Like when the military people come back over, they need a place to lay their head. I mean, they need to feel safe. They need to feel they've already been through trauma. You know what I mean? So they need to come back over here and this is their home. So we can't when they go to the veterans, the VA, take care of them.
Thank
Make
you.
sure they're good. So I mean, that's all I'm saying. Like, just take care of them.
I think this world hasn't messed up. Our veterans, our teachers,
Yeah.
they're the people that don't get taken care of.
Mm.
We will pay athletes millions upon millions of dollars, but the people who protect us so that we can lay our heads down at night, the people who educate our children,
Hmm.
these
You're
are the
absolutely right.
people these are the people that are overlooked and underpaid,
That's right.
and I just don't understand that.
That's right. I mean, as an educator, for me, I just feel I don't feel neglected. I just feel like I have to pay my dues, because I'm in the education world. Um, I just feel like behind the scenes, the world doesn't know what teachers really go through. Like me personally, and I'm not going to make this just about me, but I'm going to talk about a day in my life. So, a day in my life as a teacher, it can come in different forms. Um, some days are easy, and I don't have to deal with too much, but I want to make sure that, especially because I teach kids with autism, that, so, oh, this is perfect. So, yesterday, we had a fire drill because somebody pulled the alarm. And so everybody was freaking out over the school. And so I grabbed my kids. I have two kids. They don't like to wear shoes. So I'm like, grab your Crocs. Grab your Crocs. Like, hurry up. Let's go. Like, I grabbed the Crocs. We're running out the building. We're just trying to get out the building. And so we were able to get the kids out the building to the side door. That's not our normal place for a fire drill, but it was a learning experience because it happened in the moment and everybody was safe. But the good thing I want to talk about is my assistant principal, Miss Johnson. She was right there with me and she was awesome. Like, we had some kids that were, because I have kids that they have autism. And so they were trying to run off and this and that. But we were able to keep them contained and keep them calm because children with autism, they like structure, and when their routine is broken up,
Oh, it's
they
a
come.
mess. They panic.
So you know
And the
that, Beth,
noise. Oh, the noise.
and you could talk about it. I mean, Jonathan was covering his ears up. Then the noises were so loud. Like I'm like, and I felt so bad. I was like, man, brother, I'm sorry, little guy. Like I wish I could do more to help you in this moment, but it was eye opening for me. So just doing a fire drill because I like to give a social story. If we're having a fire drill or a tornado drill, give those kids a social story before so they know what's coming next. If it's a breakup in their routine, it's over.
Oh, yeah. You got to
So,
have that
yeah,
rigid routine, or yeah, it's a mess. It's trauma.
yeah.
It's
Beth, did
trauma
you
for them.
Beth, did you have a story? Like, did you want to talk about something that happened? Like, I want to hear about it because that's awesome for
Oh,
me.
well, Matthew is he's kind of different. He seems to, outgrow things, or he learns how
Yeah.
to handle them. But
Mm-hmm.
so these kind of things haven't happened in a long time with him.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
but they used to have to give warning.
Mm-hmm.
They,
Yeah.
they would always give warning for
Yeah.
anything that was out of the ordinary, because he was always in regular classes, but he had a TA with him. So the TA
A
always
teacher
had
assistant.
warning. Yeah, a teacher assistant. So he always had warning because
Yeah.
he's high functioning.
Yeah.
But yeah, he
Yeah.
noises were bad. Noises were
Mm.
very bad, and you could not upset the schedule. If the schedule
Yeah.
was upset, it would just, Matthew would self talk.
Mm.
He self talks and just
Mm-hmm.
wanders and wanders, and
Mm-hmm.
many times he would just walk out of class and take a walk.
Mm-hmm.
And if the teacher assistant wasn't available, or like I said, there is always turnover, that child would just wander off. He'd say, the hell with you people, and
Yeah. Yeah.
he'd go for a walk. He'd leave class. That's just how it was.
Would he cover up his ears?
Oh yeah, always. He did not like the noise.
The noise. Yeah.
Could not handle
So,
noise.
so did he have headphones?
No, no, he just covered the ears until it stopped.
Wow.
But yeah,
Wow.
and he
Yeah.
just sit there and start talking about something,
Mm.
so, and not pay attention to it. But yeah, it's for Matthew. It was weird. It was like every few years, it was like he'd all of a sudden jump years.
Mm-hmm. So I know he's on a spectrum, but what I tell people is this: kids on a spectrum, they are so smart. And then another thing that I want to bring up, and I'll go back to it: gifted and talented students, they can out teach the teacher. Like the
Oh my,
teacher might
yes.
as well just sit down. So if I don't think a lot of people know about gifted and talented, they will out teach you. You might think you know how to do 2x to the third power times MB plus 3 times divided by. I mean, it's just wild. And being in education, I figured that out, and it's amazing. But I want to say this: like children that have autism, they're amazing. They're the most precious people. They're the nicest, sweetest people. So uh, behavior is communication. So whenever they're having their tantrums or frustrated, all they're saying is, I need something. And so research, we're still trying to figure out what does that mean. Because even with kids in my classroom, I'm just trying to figure out like Jonathan, I'll give you a water, but I know you love water. So I'm trying to figure that out. Like, do you need food? Like Do you need to go to the restroom? Like, do you want to look at a big picture book? Do you want to play with they have these toys and different things the kids can play with, and then they have chewies. Some kids like to do chewies. So autism is just, it's something that's evolving. And I think people have to, you know, understand that we're still trying to do research on children with autism, which we're still trying to understand what autism means and what are the needs of the child first. Like, what do they need? And so, Beth, I just appreciate you sharing your story. It just knocked me off my feet. It's great because I'm trying to figure this out with autism. I love it.
Matthew asked me once when he was younger, he said, Mom, what does autism mean? Because,
Mm-hmm.
people throw this word around in front of him like he's not even there.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, it means you're smarter than everybody else.
Yeah.
He said,
Yeah.
okay. That was the end of it.
Yeah.
But the child is brilliant. He's had his own YouTube channel since he was 12. And he just recently got a job offer from some big sports thing to do an internship. He reads up and reads up. He could tell you who made the final goal or whatever it is in football. What's it called?
Field goal or touchdown.
Touchdown in the 1952 World Series or not World Series.
Back in the day.
Yeah, he has all these things in his brain. He knows them all.
Willie
every
Mays,
statistic,
all that stuff.
Every statistic from every football game, soccer game, a baseball game, knows it all. It's recorded in his mind.
Absolutely.
The kid's a genius.
He is a genius.
Blows my mind.
And children with autism, they will bring something about in life that you would never expect. They will bring about genius things, like amazing. Like, they're so smart. They're so smart. And so I just think it's great. Like, we have to get on board as a community. Like, it takes a village. It takes all of us to raise a family. So we always hear that. But just dealing with even one beautiful individual child, or, it takes a village too. We have to be present, and we have to give them the resources and the tools that they need. Well, what are those resources, and where do those resources come from? So I do in my school district, we have something where the autism consultant, they'll come in and they'll give resources, and they'll actually, I can't remember what it's called, but I'll get back to you with that on Beth. But Beth, Gilly, her name is Gilly. She's the autism consultant for MSD Pike Township, and she is so great. Like, she will give parents anything they need. I was in an IEP meeting a few months ago, and the parent was just like, I just don't know what to do. And what do you say to that? Like, how do you console that parent? Like, they're going through it. They're feeling like, because that's hard.
I'm like I said, I'm lucky with my school district, and I had the teacher actually. Matthew, she heard him on his phone announcing one of these games like he does on his YouTube channel. And didn't she set it up so that he got to announce the last 15 minutes of the high school football game over the PA system?
Yeah.
For the school. Yeah. And I'll tell you what, he had the time of his life. There he was announcing the game for the whole school. And he just had a ball, and he was little Mr. Superstar. And
yes.
Oh yeah, and we went. He took me. Well, I took him, but we went to a school basketball game, and
Yeah.
he takes me over. He sits me down in the, on the bleachers. He says, "Now, Mom, stay here.
That's
I got to
awesome.
go over here and talk to the cable guys about the
That's
game."
awesome.
And apparently, he does this. He goes over, hangs out with the cable guys, and he records part of the games to put up on his YouTube channel. And
Yeah.
I'm just like watching my son in fascination. I'm like, oh my God, he's little Mr. Thing.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
And he's introducing me to the kids,
Oh,
the school kids. This is my mom. She likes basketball.
yeah.
And I'm like, okay, he's treating me like his little puppy.
Yeah. That's awesome.
I'm just like, oh my God, my kid's like this thing. Okay.
Yeah.
I was so tickled by it. And I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, well, my kid's cool. What do you know?
Yeah.
And I was like, well, good for you, Matthew. This is great.
Yeah.
And
So what
I
about
was,
the reading level of who like, so that's so important too, like the reading level.
oh, he hates reading. He does it. And he reads very well. And I just hate it. I'm like, of all things, Matthew, he does great and everything, but that child hates to read.
Yeah.
And he does well. He really does. I mean,
Yeah.
he reads at grade level and everything, but he just does not care for it.
Yeah.
And I was like, he got to pick courses like 2 or 3 years ago, and they had a Gothic novel course. And I was like, I would have died for this when I was in high school. And my kid is like, I don't want to do that.
Oh,
And I was
wow.
like, take this class. You're taking this class. I don't wanna.
Yeah.
It's like, that would have been so much fun for me, Matthew. No.
Wow. Wow.
But yeah, he hates reading.
Yeah. I know that. I think that you can't force anybody to read. I think it has to come from within.
Yeah, Nina says Beth set up her computer for. Yeah, he set all this up for me, and he puts it all on my YouTube channel. I don't know how to do any of this.
Yeah.
I would be lost if it wasn't for him.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just a terrific kid.
Yeah.
And yeah, his autism now is more of a social thing. Like I said, he gets out and he does things, and he has friends, but he has a really hard time relating to them on a social level.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's
He
the
tends
social interaction aspect of.
Yeah, he tends to be too
autism.
clingy with people,
Mm-hmm.
and he doesn't quite. I don't know how to explain it, but he has a hard time relating the way he should.
Yes.
And there are still some things like money. He has a hard time understanding the whole money concept of the world. And they do like job programs.
Oh, yeah.
And he has a hard time with that too. He still will wander off, and it's like, okay, I don't like this, I'm bored. And he'll wander away.
Like the next dollar up, like, so the next dollar up concept, like, so going to the grocery store, going to like I don't know your location, but like going to the grocery store, actually having him take out, actual cash. These ATM machines and the swiping your card and just the tapping, and it's a lot, but the next dollar amount, like having him actually give like the cashier, like,
See, they do that. They go to the school. They go to the store and do that at school now. But you know what? I have seen so many kids. If I give them cash, will look at me.
Yeah.
Cashiers now. These kids are dummies, hon. These kids don't know how to make change.
That's my dog, Beth. You so that's I love you. You're amazing because I mean you hitting it on the. I get it. I get it.
I
Like
mean, these children are graduating from high school and they don't know how to make change because all of them use the cards.
wow. Yeah.
I don't know
So
how they're getting out of school and they cannot. I will hand the
yeah.
cashier cash and she'll look at me like, and it'll take her 5 minutes to count out the change
hmm
because
Yeah.
it's like, are
Yeah.
they not teaching you how to make change in school anymore?
Yeah.
What
Like
is wrong with you, child?
like my next unit that I'm teaching, like so I've done like so I have two groups. So I like my classroom. I have like a pre-academic like slash task oriented group, and then like I have like the functional academic group. That's like the kids that can do like you know 2-digit addition with regrouping, multiplication, but there's some teachers that they think they can throw out flashcards or just ask the kid like what's 6 times 3. Like as a teacher that's not my belief, but I understand in my school building and other teachers that's they just think they can throw out a flashcard and be like what's 4 times 3, what's 4 times 4, what's 8 times 3. Like you can't like in a regular ed population setting that's okay. But I don't believe that's not my belief. I believe in teaching multiplication arrays because that shows visuals. And so it's I've just I just hear things like on how to teach multiplication. We have our own views on how to teach multiplication. But I have my views and when I'm dealing with kids that have autism or learning disabilities, I just feel like it's important for them to always have models. You can't just throw a flashcard out like, Johnny, what's 2 times 6? That kid's gonna look at you crazy. You know what I mean? Like, but if you have a model for them to look at, like I have my own style of teaching. You might have your own style of teaching, but I'm gonna teach my way because I know I've been with these kids I know how to teach kids. And so just because you teach your kids that way doesn't mean I can't teach my kids this way. I'm old school too. And my mom, a lot of my family members, the women in my family, they're educators or nurses. So my sister, God bless you. But so I just think it's a different way of learning for everybody. And so me, I'm gonna stick to that. Like I'm gonna teach how I want to teach. Because I know the research behind it and I believe in myself as an educator. And I just want kids to learn. Kids are not gonna learn by just saying, what's 4 times 6? They go look at you like, no, it don't work that way. You got to give them a model. You got to show them something. So I'm just, I don't know. I'm just confident with that. I love educating kids and especially kids with autism. They love routine.
Oh, yeah.
They love routine. Like if anything's broken up in their routine, not gonna be good. They're gonna flip. So I'll let you have the floor. This is great. I love talking about this stuff.
I'll tell you what, I have loved this. I have enjoyed it very much. And I hate to call it to an end, but I only get so much time on my
I know.
StreamYard before they charge me money. So we're going to have you back, honey, because we haven't even talked about your books.
I know. I know. We haven't even talked about the books yet. And it's so much to talk about. So
I know. So we're going to have to get you scheduled again so we can talk about your books. But I am going to tell
yeah.
everybody Nina has put your links up so
Okay.
that people can find your books.
Yeah.
And I am going to read them to my grandbabies.
Oh, that would be nice. The good thing about it is this. All of my books have a message. They have
They do.
it's a lesson story.
Yes, it is.
So,
Yes, it is.
I can't talk for other authors. I'll never be cocky. I'll never be this. I'm humble. I'm grateful, and I support other authors. Me personally, based on my life's experiences and just how I grew up and my family dynamics and, just growing as an author, I just, any story that I write is the child and the parent's going to be able to make a connection. There's always going to be a life story behind. It's going to be a moral to the story. So I want children and families to, what did you gain from this? What did you get from this? So I know it's, man, I want to talk about these books. Thank you so much, Beth. We
Yes,
got to
well,
talk
we're
about
going
the
to have
books,
you back
though.
so we can talk about the books. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Because the books are fabulous. They really are. Like I said,
Yeah,
I wish I'd have had them when my boys were
yeah,
smalls.
yeah,
But I
yeah.
do have my grandbabies to read them too, so that makes me
Oh,
happy.
I
And
appreciate it.
yes, because they are good, wholesome kid books, and
Yeah,
something that they can learn from.
yeah,
And I like that. I
yeah.
like that. So yes, great books, and the links are here on the show, and you can post them on my Facebook page so that everybody can find them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you
So
for
I'm
having me.
going to ask you to stay on for a minute after
Okay.
we say goodbye.
Sure.
Everybody, please look for Dana Calhoun and his wonderful books. They'll be on my page and they're here on the show, the links. And have a great day. Thank you, Dana, so much for being on the show.
Absolutely. Thank you for
And
having me.
thank you, everybody, for watching. Love ya. Bye bye.